The baby rabbit screamed all night long. It was close to impossible for us to sleep, and we were 600 metres from the action. Fuck knows what it must have been like for the 100-odd men, women and children on the receiving end of their relentless squeals, taped on a loop and amplified 1,000 times through the AFV's loudspeakers. It was still dark. I unzipped my sleeping bag just enough to slide my arm out into the cold. I tilted my wrist close to my face and pressed the illumination button on Baby G. It was 5:38 a.m. Day 51 of the siege of Mount Carmel. I kicked the bag next to me. Welcome to another day in paradise. Anthony stirred. They still playing the same bloody record? It was strange hearing him swear in perfect Oxford English. Why, mate? You got any requests? Yes. His head emerged. Bloody get me out of here. I don't think I know that one. It didn't get a laugh. What time is it? 5:30, mate. Brew? He groaned as he adjusted position. Tony wasn't used to sleeping hard. He belonged in a freshly starched white coat, back at his lab, twiddling test tubes over Bunsen burners, not roughing it alongside guys like me. Teeth unbrushed so long they'd grown fur, and socks the consistency of cardboard. The papers were calling it the Siege of Mount Apocalypse yesterday, Anthony said. Lambs to the slaughter, more like. It came from the heart. He wasn't at all happy about what was happening here. Once we'd fixed the listening devices, nobody was interested in the Brits who'd been sent to Waco to observe and advise. We were surplus to requirements. After a 3-day consultation with Hereford, who'd had a consultation with the FCO, who'd spoken to the embassy in Washington, who'd spoken to whoever, Charlie and Half-Arse had flown back to the UK. I was told to stay and keep an eye on Tony. The Americans might still want to use the box of tricks he'd brought along. I rolled over and fired up our small camping gas stove, then reached for the kettle. When it came to home comforts, that was pretty much it. There wasn't a toothbrush in sight, which probably explained why the Yanks kept their distance. I looked through one of the bullet holes in the side of the cattle trailer that had been our home for the last 5 days. The darkness of the Texas prairie was crisscrossed by searchlight beams. The AFVs circled the target buildings like Indians around a wagon train, night suns bouncing wildly. The PSYOPs guys were still making life a living hell for those trapped inside. The media had got it right. We were trapped on the set of Apocalypse Now. The compound, as the feds were calling the Branch Davidians' hangout, comprised a mishmash of wooden-framed buildings, 2 3-story blocks and a large rectangular water tower. In anyone else's language, it would have been described as a religious community, but that wouldn't have suited the FBI. The last thing they wanted was for this operation to smack of persecution, so compound it was. There's a 10-day rule when it comes to sieges. If you've not resolved the situation by then, the shit has really hit the fan. And we were pushing the envelope 5 times over. Something had to happen soon. The administration wasn't looking too clever as it was. With every new day that passed, things just got a whole lot worse. The ear-piercing, gut-wrenching screams suddenly stopped. The silence was deafening. I peered through the bullet hole. 3 or 4 AFVs were clustered near the car park. Intelligence from ex-members of the cult had suggested that since storage space inside the buildings was at a premium, a lot of them kept their belongings in the boots of their vehicles. The first AFV lurched forward, ploughed through the fence and kept straight on going. I gave Tony another nudge. Fucking hell, look at this. Tony sat up. They're crushing all the cars and buses. What the hell are they trying to do? Make friends and influence people, I guess. We watched the demolition derby while the water boiled.